So, what grinds my gears? Well, there are a lot of things that grind my gears, but in particular, this one thing is sort of at the top of the gear grinding list, and that would be piercing guns. In case you didn't know, piercing guns are basically the fucking devil. They're actually banned in a lot of places here in the US and overseas, and in my opinion, they should be banned permanently everywhere. But this video is going to give you 5 reasons and sort of go into depth a little bit about why piercing guns should never, I repeat, never ever be used. Number 1. Piercing guns don't really pierce at all. The stud is pointed in a way so when you click the gun like that, it goes through your ear and then the back interlocks with it. They're not very pointy at all, to tell the truth. If you get your cartilage pierced with it, it can actually be so damaging that it will shatter your entire cartilage. I was young and naive and got my helix pierced with a gun, and I had taken it out a while ago, but my cartilage is partially shattered because it was done with a gun. Piercing needles are designed to go through the skin like butter, and they're hollow, so you're essentially you're more so removing a piece of the skin than pushing through it and causing all that damage. Number 2. The people who pierce you really aren't trained at all. Most of the time, if you go to Claire's, Walmart, Piercing Pagoda, etc. to get your ears pierced, the people that pierce you are trained to pierce human beings by taking the gun and piercing a stuffed animal, a teddy bear, or whatever else with it. They haven't taken any required classes that a licensed professional would need to take in order to be able to pierce people. They have no education other than taking the gun and piercing a stuffed animal with it. They don't know what they're talking about, and the way they tell you to clean it is absolutely horrible. A lot of times they will tell you to twist the jewelry as it's healing, and that's supposedly to help it so your ear doesn't grow around it or whatever. But in all actuality, the jewelry should never be fucked with at all while it's healing because it just messes with the fistula and it's not a good thing. Also, the piercing is free with the purchase of jewelry because they cannot legally charge you to pierce you because they are not a licensed professional. Now, what does that tell you? Number 4. Piercing guns are reusable. So that means that after every single person that they pierce with the gun, they don't do any sterilization that would be accepted medically. Since the gun's plastic, it can't go in an autoclave, so it can't really be sterilized properly at all. They usually just take antiseptic wipes and wipe it off, and the part that they wipe off actually isn't the part that came in direct contact with your ear. Therefore, that can bring a whole bunch of ungodly, preposterous messes along that you would not have to deal with if you went to a professional and got it pierced there, such as hepatitis C, bloodborne pathogens, direct contact with another human's bodily fluids, etc., etc., etc. None of these are good in any way. Number 5. The jewelry they use is basically a huge fucking joke. A lot of the times it is not the proper length to accommodate for swelling, and therefore your ear winds up growing over the piercing, and then it needs to be removed. Material that is used to make the jewelry is not designed to be worn long term, such as something like surgical steel, stainless steel, etc., that a professional would use to pierce you with. Also, the classic butterfly back that a lot of the piercing guns have is notorious for harboring bacteria, which can lead to infection. Bottom line is, if you want something pierced, go to a professional. It's already horrendous enough that they are allowed to pierce people's ears with it, but a lot of the times they will pierce other parts of the body, such as the nostril, navel, the lip, etc. So, it's not the best method at all. If you want something pierced, please, I'm begging you, go to a professional that's licensed and knows what they're doing. Yes, it's going to cost you a lot more money. If you go and get pierced with an ear piercing gun, it's probably only going to cost you $10. If you go to a professional, it could cost you up to $70 or even more. But it's just going to be so much more worth it in the end. You will not have any of these problems if you take care of it properly and if the piercer knows what they're doing. You're going to wind up with a much happier and more beautiful piercing as an end result. And that is worth it.